You've felt it before. That knot in your stomach before something big. The drop when you get bad news. The tightness before a conversation you've been avoiding. You called it nerves. You called it anxiety. You told yourself it was all in your head. It wasn't in your head, it was somewhere else entirely. And science has a name for it that nobody told you. In the 1990s, neuroscientist Michael Gershon at Columbia University published research that changed everything doctors thought they knew about the digestive system. What he found wasn't a stomach, it was a brain, not a metaphor, not a figure of speech. An actual functioning neural network, over 100 million neurons lining the walls of your gut from your esophagus to your intestines. Gershon called it the enteric nervous system. And what makes it extraordinary is this. It doesn't just receive signals from your brain, it sends them. Your gut has its own nerve cells, its own reflexes, its own memory. It can process information, respond to its environment, and make decisions, completely independently of your brain. Gershon spent years trying to convince the scientific community. They were skeptical. The idea that a digestive system could think felt too strange to take seriously, until the data became impossible to ignore. Here's the number that changes everything: 90%. 90% of the serotonin in your body is produced in your gut, not your brain. Your gut. Serotonin is the chemical most people associate with happiness, mood regulation, and emotional stability, the thing antidepressants are designed to increase. And almost all of it is made below your chest. This means that when you feel emotionally off, when something feels wrong but you can't explain why, there is a biological process happening in your stomach that your brain hasn't caught up to yet. Your gut felt it first. Your head is still processing. The connection between the two systems has a name: the gut-brain axis. It's a two-way communication highway running through the vagus nerve, one of the longest nerves in your body, stretching from your brainstem all the way down through your chest and into your abdomen. Researchers at University College Cork, led by John Cryan, have spent years mapping this highway. What they found was staggering. Of all the signals traveling along the vagus nerve between gut and brain, 80% travel upward, from gut to brain, not the other way around. Your gut is not waiting for instructions from your brain. Your gut is giving them. This reframes everything you thought you knew about your emotions. The nervousness you feel before a job interview. Your gut registered the threat before your conscious mind labeled it as fear. The inexplicable unease you feel around certain people, even when they've done nothing wrong. Your enteric nervous system is processing social cues your brain hasn't consciously registered yet. The feeling that a decision is wrong, even when it looks right on paper. 100 million neurons are running a calculation you didn't ask for, and sending the result upward. You feel it as instinct, as intuition, as a hunch. But it's not mystical. It's biological. It's a second brain doing its job. There's more. Researchers studying the gut-brain connection discovered something that nobody expected. The bacteria living in your gut, trillions of microorganisms collectively called the microbiome, directly influence your mood, your anxiety levels, and your behavior. Not indirectly, not slightly. Directly. A 2019 study published in Nature Microbiology, analyzing data from over 1,000 participants, found that people with depression consistently had lower levels of two specific gut bacteria, Coprococcus and Dialister, regardless of antidepressant use. Not lower because they were depressed, potentially depressed because they were lower. The direction of causation is still being studied. But the connection is real. What you eat changes the bacteria in your gut. Those bacteria produce chemicals that travel to your brain. Those chemicals influence how you feel. The thing you put on your plate for lunch today will affect how you feel tomorrow morning, not because of calories, because of chemistry. Gershon wrote a book in 1998 called The Second Brain. In it, he described the enteric nervous system not as a curiosity, but as a fundamental part of what makes us human. He argued that treating mental health without considering gut health is like trying to fix a broken machine by only looking at half of it. The psychiatric community has been slow to follow. But that is changing. There are now clinical trials testing whether probiotic interventions can reduce anxiety and depression symptoms. Early results are promising enough that researchers at institutions including Harvard, Oxford, and the APC Microbiome Institute in Cork are actively pursuing what they're calling psychobiotics, bacteria that act on the brain. The idea that you could treat depression with a probiotic sounds strange. It sounded strange to say the stomach had its own brain too, until it didn't. Here's what this means for you right now. Every time you felt something in your gut and dismissed it, told yourself you were being irrational, that the feeling didn't make sense, that you should ignore it and think logically, you were overriding a system that has been keeping humans alive for hundreds of thousands of years. Longer than rational thought, longer than language, longer than the part of your brain that makes spreadsheets and to-do lists and 5-year plans. Your gut has been solving problems since before you had words for them. And every time you ignored it and wished you hadn't, that sick feeling afterward that, I knew it, that wasn't weakness. That wasn't failure. That was a second brain trying to tell you something your head wasn't ready to hear yet. You have two brains. You've been living your whole life listening to only one of them. Learn something new? Hit that like button, share with others, tap subscribe, and watch this video next.